in last topic we complete the identification of bacteria. So in today's topic we are going to cover the biomedical waste management, or also the another name of this topic is hospital waste management. So very important topic for your syllabus as well as for your whole future also, because you are going to become a doctors and all these biomedical waste management you have to know is must for knowing each and every doctor and paramedical workers. So how to manage the biomedical waste or hospital waste. So introduction of this topic. So why the study of this management or this program is necessary? Because waste process in hospital carries high risk of infection and injuries. So they are infected, known infected thing, and that's why very high risk of infection and injuries. Serious public health effects and a significant on environment. Environmental pollution generally occurs, and that's why appropriate management is very essential. That's why we have to study this hospital waste management program, or we have to know about the detail about the biomedical waste management. Now, what is the definition of biomedical waste? So, what is the biomedical waste or hospital waste? You write down the definition. Any waste which is generated during the diagnosis, treatment, or immunization of human being or animals, or in research activity. So this one is a correct definition of biomedical waste. So any waste which is generated during the diagnosis of patient, treatment, or immunization of the human being or animals, or in research activities. So this is a correct definition of biomedical waste. Now in early days what happens? So before 2000, so when this management program is not in work, so that time early scenario, some hospitals were dumping their biomedical waste in municipal waste dump, and this such type of dumping is now illegal. So 100% illegal. Now government is not allowing such type of pictures. We can't dump the biomedical waste in municipal. We have to manage separate biomedical program. Then that time what happens? Sorting and pickup by the rag pickers from the waste dump. From such dump, they are sorting and pick up. Sales, they sells to the used plastic disposable to the wholesale dealer. The washing of that, packaging, cleaning, and release to lower prices. Such type of strategy generally occurs in early scenarios. And because of this reuse, the chances of transmission of infection from one to another occurs. And to avoid that, to break this chain, this program comes into the formation or into the working from 2003. So biomedical waste far more dangerous and offensive than the domestic waste. Why? Because it contains infectious or other hazardous material that may infect, injure, or harm patient, their visitors, hospital personnel, and the public in several ways. Contains sharp like the needles, broken glass, which causes the infection and injuries. Contains harmful chemicals also, radioactive material, and they cause the harms. If untreated, it undergoes fermentation and attacks fleas, other insect, birds, animals, rendering the sites of generation and storage healthy and unhygienic. Can attack rag pickers who repack, dispose, or drug and sell them on lower prices. So to break such type of activity, we have to follow this program. Now, since biomedical waste can be serious pollutant of the soil, water, and air, means environmental pollution, across the world have been forced to introduce legal restraints in this area. Government of India has made the medical waste management and handling rule in 1998, and under this rule, person who are in charge of the medical and other institute where such as waste generated called occupier are held legally responsible for maintaining the conditions prescribed in the rule. The rule came into the effect from 1st January 2003. So from 2003, nobody can dump biomedical waste in municipal. The act now modified by the biomedical waste rules in 2016. Recently it is modified. So amount of biomedical waste. So how much biomedical waste is generated? Under Indian conditions, amount of biomedical waste generated is 1 to 2 kilogram per bed per day. So 1 to 2 kilogram per bed means per patient per day. What it contains? It contains maximum amount, 85% amount of harmless, means non-infectious waste, and a little amount that is near about 10 to 15% hazardous or infectious. But what happens? Suppose a container is there, that one is having the 85 or 90% harmless non-infectious, but you put a used syringe into that, you throw that syringe. So whole is now considered as a infectious, and for that we have to separate infectious from non-infectious, hazardous from non-hazardous. Understand? That's why we have to learn the rule. Now the type of biomedical waste. So it is divided into three types: harmless, infectious, and non-infectious hazardous. So first one is harmless, second one is infectious waste, and another one is non-infectious but hazardous. Include the first harmless includes what? Means non-infectious or harmless include what? Paper, cardboards, cartoon, flowers, ordinary office kitchen waste, all these, or it is also called as domestic waste. All this comes in the harmless biomedical waste. Now infectious waste. What infectious waste contain? Any waste like to carry or transmit any type of pathogenic microbe, include human or animal tissues or organ removed at biopsy, surgery, or autopsy. Placenta or other product of conception in case of gynec, any pathological fluid discharge, dressing, swab, and other soil atom, lab samples sent to microbiology, pathology, and biochemical test, all microbial cultures. In microbiology, we are growing the known bacteria or viruses, so these known cultures, these are also pathogenic or infectious. Use syringe and needles, scalpel, and other sharp material. All they comes under the infectious waste. Now non-infectious hazardous waste. So it is non-infectious but hazardous. It causes the injuries. So chemicals, so toxic, corrosive, inflammable, reactive, and otherwise injurious. That's why they are hazardous. The radioactive material, handling and management of which are under the directions of the Bhabha Atomic Research Center, and pharmacological surplus or time expired drugs. These are also non-infectious but hazardous. Now, general principle of waste management. Effective waste management require clean and tidy environment, since waste tend to accumulate in dirty soil. The hospitals and its premises should be maintained in clean and hygienic state. This require frequent soap and water washing, mopping, and good housekeeping practices. The objective of biomedical waste management. So you write down this objective. So many times we are asking what are the objective of biomedical waste during your viva. So prevent harm resulting from waste. The first objective is prevent harm resulting from waste. Minimize its volume, reduction in volume generally. Retrieve reusable material and ensure safe and economical disposal. So the method of disposal or treatment, they should be economical and safe. Now we start the source of waste generation. Where such type of biomedical waste is generated? Government hospital, primary health center, rural hospital, and civil hospitals. Private hospitals, including nursing homes, physician clinics, there also the biomedical waste is generated. Medical colleges and research centers, dental clinics and hospitals, laboratories, vaccination centers, animal house, blood banks, research organizations, and others. So all these are the site of generation, the source of waste generation in all these generation. So in other, butcher house as the animal market, that butcher house is also a site of generation. Now this one is the quantity of waste: metal sharp 1%, infectious waste 1.5%, glass 4%, and the remaining is near about 23% non-infectious general waste. Now WHO and all these government authorities divide biomedical waste into different categories. Categories of biomedical waste in India. So what are these? Category number one, human anatomical waste. So human tissues, organ, body parts. So during operations, if these are amputated, so all that is highly infectious, it comes under the category number one. Category number two includes animal waste. So one is for human, second is for animal. The same animal use tissues and organs. Category number three, microbiology and biotechnology waste, where the pure growth of organisms are present. We are doing the organism for study. So they keeps under the category number three, culture, culture, tissues and devices. Category number four, waste sharp. All the sharp things like the needle, syringe, blade, scalpel, broken ampoules and wire. All these comes under the sharp. So these sharps are kept in the category number four. Category number five includes discarded medicine and cytotoxic drug, expired, outdated, contaminated medicine. The category number six includes solid waste, cotton, dressing, soil with blood, linen and bedding. Category number seven again for solid waste, but disposable items. Disposable items other than sharps like catheter, IV tubing, the plastic syringe, all the plastic and rubber things comes under the category number seven because a different treatment method we are using. Category number eight, chemical waste. So chemical used for disinfection and insecticides, all that whatever the chemicals we kept in the category number eight. So total 8 different categories for the biomedical waste. Now, hazardous of healthcare waste. If we not follow this program, if anybody says, no, I am not going to follow. So what happens? Infections like HIV, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, tuberculosis, the spread of such type of infection, the transmission of such type of infection occur. Injuries may occur like the cut, abrasion or pricks because of that sharp material. Or burns or injuries due to the corrosive chemicals, public sensitivity and other water, air and soil pollution, or in simple word we are calling it as it causes the environmental pollution. It causes the environmental pollution, and that's why we have to follow this rule, this program. Who are at risk? Definitely you people, you are doctors, you are handling the patient, you are always associated with the patient, and that's why our number one at high risk, definitely the doctors, maybe a physician or dentist. Staff nurses, patients, visitors, patient relatives, other staff including workers disposing waste and laundry workers, those who are working in hospital management. So they are also very high risk. Now the actual program starts, so very important to write down this 4 steps. We divide this biomedical waste program in 4 different steps. Which are these? Number one is segregation. Segregation means separation of biomedical waste into different categories. Now step number two is collection and storage of the biomedical waste. Step 3, transporting of biomedical waste. And 4, treatment and disposal of biomedical waste. Now we'll see one by one. The first one is segregation. Segregation means separation or sorting of biomedical waste in various categories. Segregation into various categories, responsibility of waste producer. Suppose a large hospital like our hospital, Vaishya Hospital, it is the responsibility of superintendent, medical superintendent of that hospital. So doctor, staff nurse, paramedical worker, the sanitation staff, generally the sanitation staff, they are illiterate. We have to give knowledge about the hazardous nature of biomedical waste. Reduce the risk. By following segregation, what happens? Reduce the risk. Less chances of contamination or less chances of transmission of disease. Reduce the cost of handling of the disposable. Yes, very important point. So just now I have given the example, a bin is there, a container is there, which contain the non-infectious waste. But just you put, use gloves or use mask or use syringe. Now whole is considered as a infectious waste. The cost which is required for the treatment is definitely increased. And suppose you separate the infectious from non-infectious. So that time the cost required for the treatment of infectious is again reduced. So that's why separation is necessary. Segregation, so containers or plastic bags we are using for this. So plastic bag, polythene bags are provided. Plastic bin or containers lined with the color code plastic bag and puncture proof container. These three things required. So whenever we are using the bag, three things we are taking into the consideration: enough size. So suppose a ward is there, a medicine ward in which the 50 patients are there, and we are putting very small bag. Again, it is not proper. So enough size. If 50 beds are there, a large size bag you provide. If only 5 beds are there, if provide a small bag like that. Enough size. Size is important according to the number of beds. Strong. Whatever the material we are using for this plastic bag, that should be strong. Leak proof. That bag should be leak proof. Color coded. So different colors are given by this biomedical waste program. So in next slide we will see which colors are provided. So this proper color we have to use. Then labeled and marked with biohazard symbol. So such type of symbol is there, biohazard symbol. We have to print such type of biomedical symbol onto the bags. Whenever we are using the containers made up of hard plastic or metal, strong, leak-proof, puncture-proof, or with secure lid not allowing animal or insect. So that container should be having the lid. In this container you keep the bag, and also lid is necessary. What happens in old hospital generally, rats may present, the lizards may present, they goes inside and they spill the biomedical waste onto the floor. To avoid such type of things, so it should be having the lid. So lid. Now sharp container. For sharp containers, puncture proof with secure lid containing disinfectant 4% sodium hypochlorite. You write down the name of this disinfectant. 4% sodium hypochlorite always we are recommended. Mechanism to show means that should be a transparent. We have to see which type of the sharps are present in the container with the naked eyes. Now segregation as per 2016 rule. From 16 we are following this segregation. Yellow bag. So yellow color bag, container, whatever it may be, yellow color is given for highly infectious waste, human anatomical waste or animal anatomical waste. Understand? Human or animal anatomical waste in yellow. Now soiled waste, atoms containing with the blood, body fluid, liquid dressing, plaster. So all they are, means other than plastic and rubber, all soil waste is collected in yellow. That one is also highly infectious. Expired and discarded medicine. So these are also collected in yellow bag. Understand? So yellow for highly infectious. Then chemical waste. So these chemical are also collected in yellow bag. Then chemical liquid waste. These are also collected in yellow bag. Discarded linen, mattress, bedding. So all these are also collected in a yellow bag. Microalgae and biotechnology, these are also highly infectious. So they are also collected in yellow color bag. So for highly infectious material, yellow bag, yellow container is used. Yellow is given for highly infectious. Now the next color is red color. So we recommended red color for contaminated waste, plastic and rubber, recyclable. Understand? Recyclable, which contain the IV tubing, the rubber or plastic things like the plastic syringe and all these, they are collected in red color. So here the examples are there, which include the tubing, bottle, intravenous tube, sets, catheter, urine bags, syringes without needle and fixed needle syringe, and vacutainers. Their needle. So all our gloves. So gloves, these are also collected in red color bag. Then transparent color for waste sharps, so which include the needle, scalpel, the blades, all this comes under the sharp, infectious sharp. For that, transparent color containing 4% sodium hypochlorite. Here for sharp we never use bag. For sharp always container is there. Then the next color is a blue color. Blue color is recommended for glassware, broken, discarded and contaminated glass, including medicine, vials and ampoules. So all glassware or metallic body implants, they are collected in blue color. So these 4 colors are there. Now the example for this exercise for you. Example, disposable syringe. If you use, put wrapper in general, green color or black color. Green and black for routine domestic waste, non-infectious waste. So wrapper you put into the green color. Use syringe you now put in red color, and that needle you put into the container. Which container? Colorless container or transparent container, which is containing the HEPA. Don't collect sharp in plastic bag. So never collect sharp in plastic bag. If anybody collects, then what happens? The chances of injuries. So always collect sharp should be put in a container with disinfectant, 4% sodium hypochlorite, and that container should be a transparent. Then never overfill the bins. If you are observing in any ward or in any clinics, the bin is full, that container is full, nobody is observing there. So chances of injury. So that person is getting the injury. So such things may occur, and to avoid that, fill the bin up to the 3/4 level. Now the man is happy, no chance of such type of injuries, and he is coming very happily into the wards or into the hospital. Now collection. The second step is collection of biomedical waste. So after segregation, collection. Waste should be collected daily. Daily collection is necessary. Bag should be labeled with the point of production. Means you have to write the name of ward. Suppose gynecology ward, medicine ward. So write the ward or name of the clinics. The bag or container should be replaced immediately with the new bag or container. First you keep new bag. After that only replace the old one. Otherwise what happens? If you are replacing the old one for half an hour or for 1 hour, nobody is looking there. So they are throwing into the corner. So such picture never occurs. Always you replace the new bag, keep the new bag, after that only replace the old. Waste should be collected daily with hours. Now the storage. So storage stored in a separate area, room and building away from the public place and kitchen. Area should be protected from all sides. Never store more than 48 hours. Very important. Always the MCQ onto this. So the maximum time given for the storage is 48 hours. Accessible to the authorized person only. So that area should be personalized. Nobody can visit. Anybody will not visit. Only authorized persons can visit the store. Now labeling is very important. International symbol of biohazard should be there on the container and hazardous waste. All bags, container, or the wraps we are using, that should be labeled with the such type of biohazard symbol. So this one is another symbol, cytotoxic symbol. So that should be labeled onto the cytotoxic waste. Labeling all bags or container to be labeled, written directly onto the bag or pre-printed labels, securely attached, waste category, date of collection, place in hospital where produced, waste destination. Warn hospital staff about the hazardous nature of the waste. Now the transport. Third step is transportation of biomedical waste. Very important. Two types: internal transport and external transport. Internal, outside the building, outside from the hospital building to the store. Central point of collection. So in our hospital also, a separate area is there, separate store is there, our incinerator is there for the treatment. And external means where the incinerator is not present. In small hospital it is not possible. So that time one single incinerator in the city, and for that transportation, this external transport is needed, central point to the final set of disposal. For internal transport, such type of push carts we are using, made up of stainless steel. 1 or 2 bins can be moved back from outside. All that container we keep in this cart and just use for the internal transport. Such type of trolleys, waste trolleys are also available, made up of iron or steel, should be covered. Rickshaws in early days, such type of rickshaws we are using. Now, external transport for long distance. Suppose in taluka places, incinerator is not present, so they are transporting from talukas to the district places where the incinerator is there. That time, a large vehicle we need, waste van or lorry we need. Special vehicle with label as biomedical waste from all sides for transport at a large distance. Biohazard symbol, and we have to print biohazard symbol onto this such type of waste, lorry or van. Waste van or lorry, so driver cabin should be separated, not to be used for other purpose. In early morning we are using for the biomedical waste, afternoon we are using for other purpose, such is not allowed. That van, that lorry should be dedicated to only the transportation of biomedical waste, no for other use. Kept lock and time expected when loading and unloading. Always the door should be locked. Only during the loading you open or unloading, open the door. Wrong method of transportation. If you observe in our hospital or anywhere in the hospital such type of transportation, avoid it. It is a wrong method. So this one is a correct method of transportation by which secure leads. That person wear protective gears. Always personal protective gear, cap, glass, mask, apron, gloves, and this gloves should be. Immunization against hepatitis B and tetanus. That person should be immunized. Keep environmental clean for future generation. That boy is innocent. He doesn't know he is playing with the use syringe. The chance of transmission of disease occur, and to avoid that, we have to follow such type of program. Now the treatment part, last part is the treatment. Means all the procedures and process initiated to reduce the bulk of the waste and make it non-infectious and harmless. Several methods of the waste treatments are available, and choice of method depends on the items of waste and the facilities available. The place of the final disposal may be in the premises or, if possible, away from the crowded areas. Now, biomedical waste treatment technologies. Treatment is a term used for those processes that modify the waste in some way before it is finally disposed of, with main objective of the disinfection and contaminating it by some means so that following objectives are achieved. What are the objectives of treatment? Making it free from pathogenic organism, reduce its volume of the waste to make it unrecognizable and hence more acceptable for final disposal. The treatment techniques changes the physical, chemical and biological characteristic of biomedical waste to make it a non-hazardous, from hazardous to non-hazardous. Technologies we are applying: chemical, thermal, mechanical, irradiation and deep burning. Chemical technologies in which disinfection. So in last we already learned about the sterilization and disinfection. Disinfection in which chemicals method we are using. So generally these are indications where we use instrument, equipment, dressing objective, tubing, syringe, catheter, bedding and trays etc. Surface operation theater, ICU and wards where the disinfection we use or disinfectant we use. So bleach, bleaching powder, methylated spirit, alcohol, all these we are using for the disinfection. Then the glutaraldehyde 2%, Sidex we are using for endoscope or different scopes which we are using in the hospital side. The iodine compounds, tincture iodine we are using. The phenolic compounds, phenol, cresol or lysols we are using. All this we cover already in disinfection. Then chlorohexanol, detols or formaldehydes, aldehyde different we are using for the disinfection purpose. So this is not useful. Then the thermal technologies. In thermal technologies, most living organisms are killed at 100 degrees centigrade. Low heat, steam under pressure, hot water, heat radiation, water. Temperature around 150 degrees centigrade. Already we cover in sterilization. High heat, in which very high temperature we are using, is 600 to 5500 degrees centigrade. So in which include the autoclave, hydroclave, microwave, incineration and plasma technology. So autoclave in sterilization also we cover. So steam under pressure, holding time. Here some temperature is different and time is different. The temperature is increased 134 because it is a known infectious. That's why the temperature used for the treatment of biomedical waste is 134 for 30 minutes. Monitoring by spores and bacillus thereof. Advantages and disadvantages: low capital cost, low level of skill, minimum level of emission, and disadvantage: partial efficacy for waste, partial reduction in volume, melting of plastic, pathological waste and central waste cannot be treated. The uses: treatment of microbiological waste. So this autoclave is recommended for microbiological, blood and blood products, body fluid, plastic and sharp waste. So another one is this hydroclave. It is a picture of hydroclave you just observe. Hydroclave is an instance of autoclave technology. There is an indirect heating without any contact with the waste. By introducing steam into the outer halo jacket while the waste is kept in the side another chamber. So in between this chamber we are introducing the steam